This is a modern Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl named Sophia. As an only child, Sophia was the apple of her parents' eye. They adored her, and she adored them in return. Soon, though, their happiness turned to despair when Sophia's mother learned that she was terminally ill. Throughout the days, the family worked together to make life as enjoyable as possible. Unfortunately, there was nothing they could do to prevent her mother's passing. Despite their loss, Sophia and her father Carl lived a peaceful, quiet life in their small community year in and year out. Unfortunately, this would change a few short years later when Carl met Pamela on a work trip. The two began dating. After a short period of time, Carl proposed. Despite Sophia's protestations, as she did not like the selfish Pamela, Carl knew that he needed a companion and Sophia would need a mother through her teenage years. He also thought it was beneficial that Pamela had two daughters, Annie and Lexi, that were the same grade as Sophia. Pamela was hoping to get the beautiful diamond that Carl had given his first wife, but he refused, saying that ring was set aside for Sophia. And so, though they met in April, Carl and Pamela were married and moving in together by August, right before the girls started their freshman year of high school. Pamela had decided that since she had two children, Carl and Sophia were going to move into her house, even though it was much smaller than Carl's. Though the homes were not far away, they were far enough that Sophia had to move schools. Unfortunately, the girls were awful to Sophia and blamed a lot of broken objects and fights on her. This caused her new stepmother to dislike her. One day on his way home from work, Carl was killed in a car accident due to a drunk driver. Because Pamela had adopted Sophia, Sophia continued to live with her stepfamily. With her father out of the picture, Pamela began to be mean to Sophia all the time. After a while, Annie and Lexi started to act that way as well. This included giving Sophia all the work around the house, as well as moving Sophia into the basement. Day after day, Sophia worked tirelessly to clean the house after doing all of her schoolwork. While she was studying, her stepsisters and stepmother would be out getting facials, going shopping, or redecorating the house. Even on the weekends, her days consisted of mopping and scrubbing the floors, dusting the furniture, and vacuuming the carpet. Thankfully, Sophia had wonderful friends who did all they could to help Sophia have fun. Though it took most of the school year, Sophia's friends finally worked out the perfect plan to get her to the spring fling party at school. Sophia was so excited that she couldn't help but dig out her mother's engagement ring, one of the few pieces of her mother that Sophia had left. That night, after her stepsisters had left to go to the party and Pamela had gone to sleep, Sophia snuck out of the house and was picked up by her friends for the party. When she arrived at the party, Sophia looked so different not wearing any dirty clothes that her stepsisters didn't recognize her. However, she drew the attention of Henry, the homecoming king, valedictorian, and prize quarterback. They ended up dancing and talking throughout the entire party. Sophia was so happy that she forgot to give him her name. Suddenly, one of her friends approached Sophia and reminded her that she had a curfew of midnight. Sophia would have to go so that her friend could get home in 15 minutes. So, in a rush, Sophia left the party. Her tiny hand slipped out of Henry's and left him holding her mother's engagement ring. At home that night, Sophia realized that her ring was gone. She began to cry. This woke Pamela, who began yelling at Sophia first because she had woken her, and then because Pamela could see that Sophia had left the house based on how she was dressed. In that moment, Pamela decided that Sophia would never leave the basement again, except for school. At school on Monday, Sophia was visibly upset. Seeing that she was crying, Sophia's friend asked her what was wrong. After explaining, her friend began to smile. She told Sophia that Henry had turned a ring into the office after the dance. Happily, Sophia went to the office to retrieve her ring, and Henry was there to meet her.
Created using Powtoon.